And he's broken it down into how they arrived about that figure. ASUU says that they've given the federal government a long enough rope. Is it that you've tried to discuss with this current government and it was seen that you're meeting a brick wall? Is that what's been happening?
Yes, thank you very much. That's exactly what is happening. We've written several letters, we've made several informal representation. The best we got was to have a meeting with the Minister of Education on May 10 of this year, 10th of May. And of course, it was all promissory notes and things like that. Since that time, we've equally tried to get back to them formally and informally. And if you observe, in the last 3 months, we've had a lot of press campaign all over sensitizing people that come. Let's avoid this looming crisis in the university system, because for goodness sake, people won't know this. What ASUU hates most is going on strike, because we received the pain at the end of the day. So we have gotten to this stage because government have even pretended nothing is on ground. They have not even responded. They have not even shown any concern, and we can't continue like this.
In today's dailies, ASUU, government is asking ASUU to shelve the strike and that they are seeking dialogue. I think they also talk about the fact that the minister is not in the country, so you could hang on. Maybe if he comes back, you have that meeting. Have you seen that report? Did they communicate that to you?
Certainly, that's a newspaper listing. And of course, too, it's even a reaction to the fact that we have decided to go on a warning strike. They have all the opportunities to have done this. Like, you are in the press, you are aware that in the last 2 months, all over the country, all our zones, we have press conferences. As a matter of fact, at a point in time, the Minister of Labour said that he's not even aware of what we're talking about. So we had a meeting with the minister May 10, and up to now, we got a 2-paragraph, maybe 6 or 8 lines later. One saying they are working on, or they will be working on Lupenco. 2 saying the issue of the staff school is before court. And of course, we didn't go to court. It is SANU that went to court. So other issues were not even mentioned.
You know, we have 2 key ministries that should be looking at the issue of on ground, and it has to do with the Labour Ministry and the Education Ministry.
And even Finance.
And Finance now. So have you had any correspondence from any of these ministries?
You know, the primary ministry for us is education, and we are relating with them. It will be at the level of the Ministry of Education to interface with the other ministry. But again, what we did, even as late as last week, because I was to be part of that team, we even went out of our way, because when the chips are down, you see the Committee of Education in the House of Reps, Committee of Education in the Senate saying that they are trying to broker peace. Our leadership at the national level went to the National Assembly to discuss a host of issues, and one of the issues there was this issue of these demands and unfulfilled agreements. Yeah. And of course, the report we got was that, who tries to see how we intervene, but you must know the country is difficult and things like that. The country is difficult, things are this thing, but education is the bedrock of development.
I'm looking at the bulletin. The strike is total and comprehensive.
Yes, sir.
No teaching, no examination, no attendance at statutory meetings of any kind. I'm careful with my words here. This is going to be bloody. If you say none of these, it means nothing.
That's why it's a strike.
And it has started already.
Right away. That's why I'm on my strike.
It started today?
Yes, just 1 week.
But
okay, sorry, Chamberlain, after 1 week, you go back to school?
We'll go back to school. Try to see, for example, now they are now talking about dialogue. We now see the opportunity for that dialogue. We have a choice of going on indefinite strike, but this is reinforcing my point that for ASUU, strike is not what we actually like, but it's a way of calling the recalcitrant.
Are you trying to?
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, I wanted to ask you if you're trying to force the hand of government, because if you say that you've had dialogue so far and it's not been very productive, how sure are you that, if you go on a strike, yes, they're all trying to ensure that you come back to the dialogue table now, but at the end of the day, what you will still get are promissory notes based on what is available to the country. Are you trying to force the hand of government with the strike action that you're embarking on?
The first thing is that we have not been having, what we say that they have not come to the table to talk. We have been approaching them, we've written them. For example, we are supposed to have reconstituted our negotiating team for the 2009 agreement that was supposed to have been negotiated in 2012. This 2016, the government has not constituted its negotiating team. So there's no dialogue. We've opened the door for dialogue, there is none. So that's one. Then two, it's not about forcing the government. We are not military people, but it's about making the government to be responsible and do what they are supposed to do, so that we don't have crisis in the university system.
Look at this other part where you say non-payment of salaries of staff in the staff primary schools.
Yes.
How does this become a demand from ASUU?
Okay, thank you very much. Like Chamberlain rightly observed, everything we have there are products of agreements. Part of our 2009 agreement is that the staff school, which for us are laboratories for those who are in education, that they are what used to be called the demonstration schools. People who are in education, they use those schools for their practicals. And again, just like we have the command schools for the military, the staff schools is the equivalent that we have for academics and their people who work in the system. So part of our 2009 agreement is that staff school is to be funded by federal government. When the last 1 year, what we have seen is that the federal government has decided to take its hand off the funding of staff schools in the universities. For example, if you go to the Federal University of Akure, for instance, staff have been retrenched there. In several of our universities, the federal government is no longer paying the staff school. So it's like a process of commercializing the staff school, which is in negation of the 2009 agreement. And our position is that if that's why we have a provision for renegotiation. If there is a need to change anything in an agreement, you have to come back to the table and discuss it. That's it's not being done.
So after 1 week, and they don't respond.
Yeah, as a responsible union that is sensitive to its social responsibility, we'll go back to work, try to see whether, for example, that they are not talking that they want to negotiate or they want to dialogue and things like that. We'll observe, we'll continue sensitizing, we'll continue consulting other stakeholders in the media, in every part of the society to see that the right thing is done. But invariably, if the right thing is not done, then we might be forced to go on a full-blown strike.
All right, I'm afraid that's how far we can go this morning, but we'll see how we could also keep tabs with you and bring you back later this week, maybe towards when it's just about ended. We appreciate your comment on this morning. We've been speaking with Dr. Adelaja Odukoya, who is the chairman of ASUU UNILAG chapter. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you very much, Emily. Thank you.
All right, we'll be back in a moment. Join us again.